You'll never believe how easy it is to turn fresh cilantro and parsley into fragrant homemade powder that lasts all year, no dehydrator needed. Hello everyone today. I will show you how to make coriander powder and parsley powder easily at home. Let's do it. First is cilantro. You need to prepare 2 bunches of fresh cilantro, then pick off any brown or wilted leaves. We only select the fresh green leaves. They are full of flavor and perfect for making herb powder. After picking through them, cut off the roots. But don't throw them away. I'll show you how to store cilantro roots later so you can still use them for soups, stews, or sauces. Now take a close look at the stems. If they are thin and soft, you can leave them in. They will dry well and blend in nicely. But if you see any thick and tough stems, remove them. Thick stems take longer to dry and may make the powder less smooth. Once you've finished trimming, place the cilantro into a colander and set it aside. Now let's move on to the parsley. I'm using 2 fresh bunches, and as you can see, they usually come with a lot of yellow leaves and thick stems. Just like with the cilantro, the first thing we'll do is pick out any wilted or discolored leaves so that only the bright, healthy ones remain. But here's the key difference. Parsley stems are much thicker and stronger than cilantro stems, so we won't be using them this time. Start by holding a bunch in your hand and gently plucking the leaves off. You can use your fingers or a small pair of scissors if you prefer. Make sure to remove as much of the stem as possible, because the flavor and aroma of parsley come mainly from the leaves. Once you're done, give everything a quick look to make sure there aren't any big stems left behind. Don't throw away those stems though, they're still full of flavor and nutrients. I'll show you later how to store them properly, so you can use them for soups or stews whenever you need an extra boost of flavor. When you've finished removing all the stems, you'll be left with a lovely pile of clean parsley leaves ready to be washed. This step might take a few minutes, but it's worth it. Separating the leaves ensures that your homemade parsley powder will dry faster, crush more easily, and have that bright green color and fresh aroma that makes every dish come alive. After both the cilantro and parsley have been trimmed, it's time to wash and disinfect them properly. Even if your herbs are labeled organic, it's still very important to clean them thoroughly. Dust, soil, or tiny insects can easily cling to the leaves. Start by filling a large bowl with clean water and adding a small splash of white vinegar. The vinegar helps kill bacteria and naturally removes any dirt or residue left behind. Then wash each type separately. Begin with the cilantro. Soak it in the vinegar water for about 5 minutes. After a short while, you'll notice some soil settling at the bottom, especially if the herbs came straight from the market or garden. After a few minutes, pour out the dirty water and rinse the cilantro again with clean water until it runs clear. Then lift it out and let it drain. Next, repeat the same process with the parsley. Because of their different textures, it's best not to wash both herbs together. Place the parsley in a fresh bowl of vinegar water. Soak it for about 5 minutes. Rinse thoroughly and let it drain well. At this point, we still have the cilantro roots and the parsley stems left. Prepare about 2 bowls of clean water and add a small splash of vinegar. Soak each type separately, just like we did with the leaves. After soaking, rinse them thoroughly, drain the water, and gently pat them dry with a paper towel. Next, wrap the roots and stems in a dry paper towel, place them in a Ziploc bag, and press out all the air before sealing it tightly. Stored this way in the refrigerator, they'll stay fresh and flavorful for up to 4 weeks. When you're ready to use them, simply chop them up and add them to your favorite dishes. Now that both the cilantro and parsley are perfectly clean, it's time to dry them before we start the heating process. This step is important because it helps remove the extra moisture so the herbs dry faster and more evenly later on. Start by laying a large, clean cotton towel, paper towel, or soft kitchen cloth on the countertop. Then spread the cilantro and parsley separately on the towel in a single layer. Gently spread them out so air can circulate between the leaves. If the herbs still look a little wet, use another towel or a few paper towels to pat them gently and absorb the remaining water. Remember, we're not trying to dry them completely at this stage. Just remove the excess water so they won't steam during the drying process. If you live in a warm, dry area, you can leave them on the towel for 10 to 15 minutes to air dry naturally. Or if you're in a hurry, you can place them near a small fan or even under gentle sunlight for a few minutes. This step might seem simple, but it makes a big difference. By reducing the surface moisture, your herbs will dry evenly. Keep their bright green color and turn into a beautiful aromatic powder once we finish. Now they're ready to go into the oven or pan for the next step. Now it's time to dry the parsley in the oven. Take the clean, slightly dried parsley and spread it evenly on separate baking trays lined with parchment paper or a clean sheet of foil. Make sure the leaves are not overlapping too much. This helps them dry more evenly and keep their bright color. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees, about 200 degrees. When the oven is hot, place the tray inside and let the herbs dry for about 10 minutes. During this time, keep an eye on them. The herbs will shrink slightly and turn crisp, but should not turn brown. If your oven is too hot, you can lower the temperature to 375 degrees, about 170 degrees, to prevent over-drying. After 10 minutes, remove the tray from the oven and let the parsley cool completely. You'll see that it's light crisp and wonderfully fragrant. Once the herbs are completely cool, it's time to grind them into fine aromatic powder. Start by gently rubbing the dried parsley leaves between your fingers or palms. You'll see they easily crumble into small flakes or fine powder, and the aroma is simply amazing. If you want a smoother texture, you can also use a mortar and pestle or a small blender to grind them finer. After grinding, use a small funnel to pour the powder into clean, dry glass jars. If you don't have a funnel, a spoon will do. Just go slowly to avoid spilling. Label the jar with a name like parsley powder so you can easily tell it apart later. Finally, store the jar in a cool, dry place. This powder is perfect for seasoning soups, sauces, stews, or even salad dressings. Just a small pinch adds that fresh, rich garden flavor without having to buy new bunches every week. Simple, convenient, and filled with natural aroma, truly comforting and satisfying. If your home doesn't have an oven, don't worry, you can still make delicious, fragrant cilantro powder using just a regular pan. Place a large, clean pan on the stove and add the cilantro. Turn the heat to medium-high and use a wooden spoon or spatula to stir gently every few minutes so the herbs dry evenly and don't burn. As the cilantro warms up, you'll notice a pleasant aroma filling your kitchen. After about 10 to 15 minutes, the leaves will begin to shrink and lose their moisture. If the stems are still attached, it may take a few extra minutes. Removing them beforehand will help shorten the drying time. Continue stirring until the herbs are soft and crisp to the touch. When the cilantro is dry, turn off the heat and let it cool in the pan for a few minutes. Then transfer the dried herbs to a clean plate and gently crush them with your hands. The texture will be slightly different from oven-dried parsley, a bit more rustic, but it will still have the same rich, fresh flavor. Store the herb powder in an airtight jar as before. Whether you dry your herbs in the oven or on the stovetop, both methods deliver that same wonderful aroma that makes every meal feel cozy, homemade, and filled with love. That's not all. If you have an air fryer at home, drying cilantro becomes even easier. This is truly one of the quickest and simplest ways to dehydrate cilantro. Just spread the cilantro evenly in the air fryer basket in a thin layer. Try not to overcrowd it. If you have a large amount, dry it in small batches so the air can circulate properly. Next, set the drying mode to about 70 degrees, 160 degrees for 1 hour. Halfway through, open the basket and gently shake or stir the cilantro so it dries evenly. If the leaves still feel soft after 10 minutes, add a few more minutes and check frequently. The leaves should be crisp but still green, not brown. Once finished, let the cilantro cool completely. Then gently crush it by hand or use a small grinder to make a finer powder. Store the powder in airtight jars away from direct sunlight. Using an air fryer not only saves time and energy, but also helps preserve the natural color and aroma of the cilantro. It's a modern twist on the traditional method, quick, clean, and perfect for small kitchens. And that's it. 3 simple ways to dry and preserve your herbs using the oven, a pan, or an air fryer. Each method is easy, practical, and helps you keep the fresh aroma of cilantro and parsley all year round. A few bunches of fresh herbs can become delicious powders that save time, reduce waste, and bring the garden's freshness to every meal. With just a few jars in your kitchen, you'll always have natural flavor ready for soups, stews, sauces, and even salad dressings. Your homemade seasonings are not only healthier and purer, but also filled with love. Try it once, and you'll never want to go back to store-bought again. This video comes to an end, but don't leave without hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Every subscription from you is a kind encouragement for me to keep making more helpful and meaningful videos. Thank you, and I wish you a wonderful day ahead.